Welcome back to another episode of Brad's Brief at the Board. We're today diving into a movement-specific topic, and for this one, we're going to be looking at the rower, one of the more common pieces of equipment that you might see in a gym or that you might use. And so there's three big pieces to making sure that your row is as effective as it can be. We're going to talk about them, demonstrate them. We're going to be looking at the start position, what it looks like before you even start to move that machine. We're going to look at the second piece here, which is what we're calling the drive, or the actual work being done to the machine. And then we're going to look at number three, the recover phase, or how do we get ourselves back towards the rower. So for the rower, setup is pretty simple for this piece of equipment. One of the only things that you actually have to adjust is going to be these foot pedals. And so as you're working into your rower and you sit down on the rower, if you're wondering where should the foot pedals be, if I put my feet into the straps, and if I were to tighten the straps, I like to think about the straps being right where the crease in my toes are. So as I come up onto my toes, the straps are right at that spot where we notice that crease. That's a pretty good space for your foot pedals to be. So you can adjust those up or down to fit that. Once we've done that, it's pretty simple in terms of grabbing the handle and getting ourselves into a good start position. And so our start position, what we're going to be focusing on is we're going to try and think about keeping our back nice and tall and our shoulders just a little bit in front of our hips. It's going to help us to get a little bit of power there. So if I'm looking at that start position, nice, tall, flat back, I've got my hips a little bit behind my shoulders, and I'm just comfortably reaching the handle forward. This start position is going to allow us to put the most power into each rowing stroke. So once I find that good solid position, I'm going to think about my hands being nice and relaxed. For some of us, that might be thumbs over the top of the handles, wide grip on our handles, just kind of a relaxed grip here, but then that's going to help me use these big muscles on the side of my body to get a little bit extra push. So start position, as I get down onto the rower, sit down, tall posture, hips behind my shoulders, reaching forward with a relaxed grip. If I've got a good start position, it makes each rowing stroke that much easier. So let's talk about the drive phase. This is where we're actually be putting some effort into the machine. What we want to think about is using our legs as much as we can. So how do we do that? Well, once I set my posture in the start position, I'm just going to think about pushing my heels into the rower while I maintain that position. So in slower, it's going to look something like this. Push with my legs, and my upper body just stays pretty calm. Once I get as much power out of these legs as I can, I'm just going to bend a little bit, lean back, and the handle's going to come to my chest. If you want to think of a cue for the sequencing for your rowing stroke or the drive, you're going to think legs, hips, hands. Now, this drive phase, like we said, probably 70% or so of the work is your legs, 20% or so is going to be your hips, and then the last little 10% is just that little bit of a pull where we're trying to get the handle right to about our sternum with our elbows pointed back. So a real-time motion is going to look something like this. Start position, push with the legs, hips, hands come to my chest. If we can make our rowing stroke look like this, it's going to help us get either some more power into each stroke or get a little more bang for our buck if we're going for distance. Last piece of the rowing stroke. Now that I'm in this phase, I've done all I can to get some energy into this machine. How do I go back to get into a great start position? We're going to think about releasing the hands first. So my hands go long. I hinge forward to find that good start position. And now I'm just going to let my knees bend and take me back. So in real time, it's going to be legs, hips, hands, and then just reverse it. Hands, hips, legs. And once I find this rhythmic rowing stroke, this is going to help me get the most effort out of this machine, whether I'm trying to get more calories, get my time splits down for a distance effort. But those are just the big keys I want you to think about on the rower. Get your foot pedal set up, tall, proud position, hips behind your shoulders, relax the arms, legs, hips, hands, and then we recover with hands, hips, legs. Give that a try. See if that makes your rowing feel like it's a little bit easier. Maybe you're getting a little bit more return on your investment for how much energy you're putting in the machine. A lot of nuances and mechanics you can get into beyond that. But if you get those 3 keys dialed in, your rowing is going to be really, really efficient in whatever workout you're doing. So for another episode of Brad's Brief at the Board, thanks for tuning in. Look forward to seeing you on the next one.